As you can see, Firia content moved over to another channel. So, all content about Firia will be here from now on. I hope you enjoy. Yeah. So, anyways, the last video I made about Firia was the basic 4 elements. So, today, I'm going to be talking about the other 4 magic elemental types that are not your basic elemental magical types. So, let's begin. These ones are relative to, you know, how common they are. Shadow and light go hand in hand, as for every shadow mage or light mage that's born, they have their counterpart, which is either shadow or light. You have your energy or lightning mages, and then you have your sound or vibration mages. So, what do each of these mages do, and what does their magic have to do? Like, what does it do exactly? So, as you can kind of guess, the magic elemental type kind of says a lot. Shadow magic, shadow mages, you know, control shadows, create shadows, all that fun crap, just like with all the other magic types. This exact magic type, you will find that for every shadow mage, there is a light mage counterpart. These mages are born within minutes to at least an hour of each other. So, no matter where they are in the entirety of Firia, they are born within between minutes to an hour of each other. So, it's kind of how everyone can kind of figure out who their counterpart is if they wish to so find them. Not every shadow and light mage is interested in finding their counterpart. As you can imagine, light mages and shadow mages generally don't get along. It's generally because we're polar opposites of each other. And so, yeah. But this also doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, if a shadow mage is a good person, then the light mage has to be evil. No, this does not necessarily mean that. It just means that our personality types are different. So I like darker things, you know. Oh, I'm going to use myself as an example because I'm a shadow mage. I can do that. So I can go into a little more depth on the shadow magic because guess what? I'm a shadow mage. I know, shocker, right? Anyways, so for shadow mages specifically, we have a number of different manifestations. The most common manifestation that we have is actually, in fact, more of a shadow-esque type creature. We do have shadow-like creatures that can appear to be more ghost-like. It's not as common, but it does happen. Bats are another type of like manifestation that we do get. Most shadow mages are born in the cave or cavern-like cities. This does not mean that all shadow mages are born in cave cities or underground. I myself was born in an underground city. So, yeah. As you can tell, I'm a cave dweller. But shadow mages can do quite a few different things. They are generally used for unique forms of military purposes. There aren't very many of them. There aren't very many of us, I should say. And as such, you know, we have very unique possible purposes. Shadow mages are often, you'll find them as assassins who follow around a regional ruler that they're assigned to by the council. And so, yeah, we haven't had an issue of where a Shadow Mage has had to kill a regional ruler in a very long time. Yay us. But we are kind of the shadow authorities oftentimes. But see, I'm not a part of this. I myself am not a part of this. I am not an assassin. I'm not a part of, some shadow police. I'm not a part of any assassination corps. In fact, I specifically work with ancient magical items. I do not make magical items. Do not think I make magical items. I simply procure ancient magical items. So, now that that's out of the way, we can go on to light magic. Light mages are able to create or control light. Light mages were very, very useful in altering our moon. We did have to use a lot of mages and channeling magic in order to pretty much turn our moon into a magical item that would glow and give off enough light to help with photosynthesis. So, as you can imagine, they were the reason why our moon's as bright as it is. So, yeah. Light mages have their own unique abilities. They can, in some cases, not everyone, some may prefer a specific color of light from the light spectrum, light spectrum. And others can use other wavelengths of light. So this means that some light mages can use X-rays, some can use gamma rays, and so on and so forth. All that kind of fun shit. It's different stuff on the spectrum. All that fun crap. And there is a form of radiation that can seep from this as well. As, light often creates lots of different things and all that stuff. I don't know enough about it. I'm not a light mage. And if I'm wrong, well, I'm doing the best I can. The 4 basic elements were the easiest. Now on to the more difficult magic types. Because the people who know these magic types better are not people like me. They're, their own magic user type. I will probably try and get a magic user on here for each magic type to better explain their magic type eventually. So, you better be ready because, well, yeah. Eventually we'll have guest speakers every so often. But anyways, light mages are able to create and control light. As I said before, they have a counterpart, which is a shadow mage, and I already explained with the shadow mage, all the stuff like that. Light mages, their manifestations are often light creatures, so think orbs of light, things like that. Light creatures, it could literally be, you could literally have a rainbow as a manifestation, okay? You could have a rainbow as a manifestation, as a light creature. And, small types of birds, cute, nice, bright birds, and all that fun shit. So now, with the energy mages or lightning mages, whichever one you want to prefer to call them, we generally use lightning mage just because that's what they were originally called and it's kind of stuck. But for all intents and purposes, they're energy mages. So they don't just control and create lightning. It's electricity, different types of energy, all that kind of stuff. they are able to do quite a bit of damage as well as do a lot of good. So we don't really use electricity to power our stuff. We do use magic, but we don't really use electricity. So you shouldn't expect to see a bunch of energy mages sitting in a room together just powering the world. Don't imagine that. That's not correct. They don't do that. They have their own jobs, their own lives, you know, all that kind of fun shit. Their manifestations are often energy-like orbs, bird-esque type creatures, like, think kind of like Zapdos from Pokemon. So it's birds or, you know, winged creatures. So they're not necessarily all going to be birds, but they're going to be some form of winged creature. As for the sound or vibration mages, or magic, sound magic is the ability to control or create the vibrations or sound. Sound is a form of vibration, and sound magic was what it was originally called. So a lot of people call it sound magic, some people call it vibration. It really depends. But their manifestations are usually types of songbird-like creatures, or very large creatures that are so large that they can actually shake the very ground that they walk on. So, as you can imagine, sound mages have quite the range in size for manifestations. Sound mages oftentimes are vocalists. Interestingly enough, they are. In, you know, most cases, they do all sorts of types of music because they can create it without needing instruments, which is something that most of our other mages cannot do. So, a lot of our sound mages or vibration mages are in fact our music experts. They keep us cultured, people. They keep us cultured. So yeah, if you ever hear music from Firia, it's likely from the sound or vibration mages. Guys, they do an amazing job. They also help a lot with even construction. So in some cases, they will use their ability to control vibrations to help with, you know, leveling Earth or something along those lines. It's not often that a vibration mage will do this, because we have a lot of Earth mages, and Earth mages can do this just fine. But I have seen some who do this. It's not a very common profession for them, but they do it. So those are the 4 least common elemental magic types that you may find. They don't really have particular order, as they're all fairly uncommon and fewer and far between than the 4 more common base magic races. Or not magic races, but magic types. So, as you can imagine, yeah. Yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, learned a little bit more about, you know, some of the magic in Firia, and as always, guys, have an amazing day, night, whatever, and sweet nightmares. Bye-bye.